Hi everybody, this is Katie from Doofus Adventures. We have a special treat today. We're gonna go check out StickyUSA. So come along, let's go check it out. Here we go. You can smell it from here already. Smell the sugar.
Hello.
There he is.
How are you?
Mr. Sticky himself. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good.
Hi, I'm Craig. Welcome to Sticky in California, the U.S. version of Sticky Australia. We are about to get started and make an apple lolly today. So we've got Steven and Dylan getting ready to pour the hot candy out.
Nice. So tell me about the little specifics of the candy and how hot and now what's in it.
We've cooked up sugar and glucose. We suspended the sugar initially in water. That's evaporated. Glucose is essentially the sugar doctor, which prohibits the sugar from recrystallizing and going back into crystal-like form. So once it's at temperature, we're going to cook it up to about 330 degrees Fahrenheit, so very, very hot. And we will add our apple flavor, which they're about to do right now.
So you put the apple flavor in the pot as it's still getting heated then?
Well, we actually turn it off. We work with an induction burner, which is nice, but a lot of other shops around the world use gas, and the flavors are flammable.
Oh.
So we train to turn off cooking and then add the flavor just as a precaution. Although it wouldn't combust here, but if they were to work at another shop with gas, there's a probability of that happening.
Oh, okay.
So we try and teach safety. But it's nice because when we add the flavoring in the pot initially, we can make any flavor, any color, which is fun for us, confusing for customers sometimes because we could have a purple apple if we wanted.
Hey, why not?
Yeah, it's great for custom work though. But yeah, now Steven's about to pour this out. It's gonna look like an apple, so we're gonna have a little green casing or the green outside of the candy, and then we're gonna use the red bit to stretch a little bit of it and then leave an outside so there's like an outline of an apple with a little stem and a little green leaf off of the top.
Oh, okay.
So you'll be able to see now when they start to add the colors that the water-based food coloring will boil on contact, because obviously it is still extremely hot. And they're going to use about 1/3 of that candy for the green casing, and then about a little less than 2/3 of the candy will stay white, or basically that amber color that you see. But they'll stretch that, satinizing the candy, changing the consistency of it, making it kind of crumbly. And there'll be maybe 1/4 of the candy that there'll be the apple design.
Do you guys want to introduce yourself for my YouTube video?
Hi, I'm Steven.
I'm Dylan.
Hi, Dylan, Steven. So I got introduced to you guys initially watching Dave in Sticky Australia during COVID. When did you start here?
We moved into this location. We finally got the construction finished in July of 2021?
Yeah?
I don't remember. Time is a blur.
It was a weird blip in time.
Since we've been in here, I think we're 1.5 years in, so that would be 2021.
Okay.
July of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's kind of when we started doing our Facebook videos and Instagram videos and things like that, and now we've switched over and started a bunch of TikTok stuff.
Because I think that's when I came by that time when you guys were making the ghost pepper and all.
Yeah, you were here early, right after.
Yeah, you guys had just started putting up stuff. You hadn't introduced lollybaggers yet.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
It's been a while. That was a long time ago.
That was a while ago.
You were probably here when we had our ghost pepper sample.
You gave me a sample, and
we just had gotten the flavor in for production.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, it just smelled up. And your mom was here. I got to meet your mom.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, she hasn't been here in a while.
No?
I think it scares her. She thinks I'm gonna put her to work.
Oh, well, there's that, yeah. How many bags can you bag, Mom?
Right?
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
She likes it though. Most of the time.
Well, she seemed like a nice gal.
Yeah. So now that they've got the colors in, they're just gonna wait until the candy cools down a little bit more before we add our citric acid. Citric acid does burn at a high temperature, so they need it to drop kind of below, right around that 200-degree mark, so that it doesn't burn.
And what does the citric acid do?
It's a flavor enhancer.
Okay.
So it's going to make our apple flavor more fruit forward and less jammy. So this is just our regular apple. We do a sour apple, which is inverted colors. It's a red outside with a green apple on the inside, because usually green apples are a bit more tart, red apples are a bit more sweet. And then we'd essentially double or triple the amount of citric acid we would put in our sour apple. When we do our like acid drops, our super sour candy that are pillows, we add about 4 pounds.
Oh, wow.
Batch, as opposed to
It's making me
half a cup
salivate
or
just
3
talking
cups.
about it.
Yeah, it really gets the jaw
Yeah.
quite a bit. And we have some people say that they're not sour enough. I feel
Really?
Like, I feel like the bulk of people are like, this is a good amount of sour. So now they've got all the ingredients added and everything, they're gonna separate the colors and kind of cool everything down until it's the consistency of Play-Doh. Maybe take that top corner to add to the green a little bit there.
So where did you got your training? Where?
In Australia.
Yeah?
I went to Australia in 2011.
And why? Why did you do that? Just
To learn how to make candy.
Okay.
We didn't have a shop in the United States.
yeah.
So Dave was asked to be part of this giant 30,000 square foot candy shop wonderland on Hollywood Boulevard that had 13 different boutiques inside of it, from like a Willy Wonka section to a Stay Puft Marshmallow section to a licorice section. And Sticky was essentially going to be the back centerpiece, because we do retail manufacturing. So it was kind of like the draw to draw people in the front door all the way to the back of the store to see, hear, and experience essentially candy making in all of its glory. And so they decided to be a part of the project, and they needed people to manage the shop and train all of the other candy makers. So part of the catch to taking the job was having to go to Australia for 6 weeks and learning how to make candy. And so I said, that sounds like a cool story
Yeah.
and
Sure.
a fun time. A free trip to Australia to learn this strange, weird craft that I had never heard of or experienced. So yeah, I hopped on a plane with someone else, and Dave picked us up from the Sydney airport, drove us to our flat, and said, here's $100. Pubs are this direction. I'll pick you up at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Wow. And just
I'm gonna
jump
go
right
play.
in there.
He's like, I'm gonna go play cricket, and left. Picked us up the next day, and it was, this is the shop. This is how you weigh out the candy. Everything's in kilos and grams and milliliters.
Oh, so you had to relearn all that from your American schooling?
Exactly. So it was a
Yeah.
little bit of, it was tough, but it was straight into, and now you're gonna make candy. And you're gonna make candy in front of all of the crowds of people that were walking through the Rocks Discovery Center. So,
Wow. Baptism by fire.
yes.
Yes.
It was definitely thrown into the deep
Or
end.
sticky hot candy.
Yeah, thrown into the deep end. It was fun, extremely challenging, stressful.
Yeah.
But overall, good enough that I'm still with it, like 11 years later.
Yeah, you kind of liked it then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice because it's repetitive, but it's different. Every batch we do is a different design. It's kind of the same process, but there are differences between each batch. And that's kind of nice because you have anywhere from 3 to 10 rewards. every day
Yeah.
from accomplishment. Like this morning, they already made a grape that turned out good.
Oh,
so that's
okay.
kind of like a nice accomplishment, feather in the cap for the morning, and then they'll have the apple, and then I think maybe 2 more batches after this, and then we'll switch gears and ship all the orders from the weekend out.
Yeah, I was gonna ask how many different designs and batches do you make a day?
We try and do between days when we're shipping, it's 3 or 4. When we're not, we can just make candy all day, 5 to 9.
Yeah.
Depending
Okay.
on the intricacies of the designs, how long they take. Like if we do happy birthday, that's gonna take about an hour and a half.
Because letters take longer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
letters take a little bit longer, and the more letters, the longer it takes, as well as how difficult the design is. Fruits are pretty easy. We've made them lots of times. So,
Okay.
yeah. Cooling table, you might be able to hear the water getting pumped through the core of it, and that's to expedite the cooling process. Traditionally, you'd work on a slab of marble. They're stretching the candy, pulling it, introducing oxygen into the candy, so you can see how that amber one is slowly starting to change colors and turn white. It's similar to beating an egg white.
Okay. Yeah.
And the red one is obviously changing to like a lighter red, almost pink-esque color. And they're kind of looking for it to look like there's essentially like Rapunzel's hair and kind of like a reflective shine to the
okay.
candy. You can overstretch it. We try not to do that. There's a kind of like a feel that you're looking for. How it looks like almost
That's
like a
through
marshmallow
experience.
puffing back up. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we'll move over to our heated table, which will keep everything malleable and able to kind of sculpt and mold everything together. So now they're going to start getting the elements ready, so they'll shape that into essentially a circle. They'll wrap it up in the non-stretched red, and then they'll use the far table, which is just ambient temperature, to kind of shape it into an apple-esque shape.
Okay.
Kind of like a tooth, I say. Kind of goes like tooth shape, wider at the top, skinnier at the bottom, with a little dent in the bottom, little apple bottom, and around for the top. And then they'll do a little stem and a little leaf.
Oh, wow.
And then wrap it up in the white, wrap it up in the green, and then they'll extrude it down and roll it and cut it.
Now, did you have any problems with learning like the weird dimension of how you have to stack and move? Like
Thinking in
it's a weird
getting
different
your brain
dimension.
to think in 3 dimensions
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
rather complicated, because you can't really draw it out in 3 dimensions. Most designs we just draw on a piece of paper,
Yeah.
and then you have to think about what you need if you have a 2-dimensional apple, what you would need in 3 dimensions.
Yes. So that when you go to stretch it out, it's in that
Yeah,
design.
things like-
So yeah, Doofus Adventures is my YouTube channel.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's just me. I have my RV and I drive around and
You gave
yeah.
my mom your, I think it was like email or something.
Yeah, I gave her the information, but now I actually have cards. So
Oh,
yes,
cool.
yeah. So I was down here for my grandson's first birthday.
How
Yes.
exciting. And now they've kind of got the apple skin wrapped around the bit of the apple.
Okay.
And basically pick a top and bottom. Probably have where you seam the candy together at the top, and then that be the bottom. And then just kind of put that more almost banana-esque shape, like a flat dome, to just kind of indent the bottom, and then you can shape that down.
So you guys have a whole new jargon and descripting words of what you do. It's like the people go, wait, what?
Yeah.
Banana-esque. What'd you say?
Banana-esque.
Banana-esque.
shape,
Yes.
yeah. Well, because it's when we make a banana, there's a very specific, like really tall but thin dome,
Okay.
and so because if you make it too thick, the banana looks like a peanut.
Oh, okay.
So you need that kind of elongated, flat dome.
The negative space of what you're doing.
So it's like hopefully they remember what that shape would be, and so then I can just say banana-esque
Like, oh yeah.
shape,
Oh,
and
yeah.
okay, that goes in the bottom, which would give that nice little apple bottom aspect.
And then Steven's working on the stem over here.
Yeah, he's getting the stem and leaf ready.
What color is the casing going to be?
It's going to be a solid green.
Oh.
Pretty much it's going to look like that once it's done.
Oh, okay.
Our fruit mixes are essentially our best seller because
Yeah.
it's a good introduction into all of our candies,
A little
and there's
something,
no
something.
question of, oh, what am I eating?
Yeah.
It's an apple. There you go. Now Dylan's just kind of channeling his inner apple, that apple shape, which is nice.
So this is staying pretty malleable, right?
Yeah,
Here.
yeah. The
With
table they're working on is about 150, 160 degrees.
Yeah.
So it will keep everything kind of workable for us. If it gets too stiff, they can always turn the table up. But there is kind of like a threshold of, if it's too hot, the candy will melt and stick to the table. If it's too cold, it gets too stiff and it's difficult to work with. So it's kind of finding that happy medium.
Yeah.
And you might want to move that over and cool it so it holds that shape nicely. Otherwise, it'll just be a circle. But yeah, thinking about how to do two-dimensional designs or like company logos in 3 dimensions can be quite complicated,
It kind
to
of
say the least.
it kind of gives me like a when I'm watching it. You know, I've watched a lot of you guys' videos and Australia's too, and just trying to get my head around which way is up, and
Yes,
trying to make it.
you can get lost inside of the design. A
Yeah.
lot of times when we do our unicorn, it's easy because it's a lot of white. We do a white horse.
Yeah.
So whenever you have a lot of just white candy that's an outline, it's easy to end up with, I forget which way was top and which way was bottom and which way was front and which way was back.
Now tell me what happens when you do letters like that, and how do you make it so that you're remembering which way the letters go?
Yeah, when we start, we have a thing called a bookend. That's kind of the beginning of the first letter.
Yeah.
It's more of an inch cubed rather than the thin little spacer that goes in between the two candies or the letters. And we put a little dot of colored candy on the top front because
Okay.
we're constantly flipping the candy, so it's heating from the top of the letter and the bottom of the letter, the top of the letter, the bottom of the letter. And it is easy to get lost with that. It's the person making the letter's responsibility to make the letter and pass it over the right direction.
Ah,
Because
okay.
some letters, as you build them, you have to turn them around just from the way that you're actually putting the negative space into the letter. So you build the letter and then you actually have to spin it to stretch it out. J's get confusing because most of our letters go to the right. where a J
Like
goes to the left.
L's and G's and R's and
L's,
K's
G's,
and
R. Almost
Yeah.
all letters go to the right,
Yeah.
except the J goes to the left, which is,
Well-
we don't make a lot of them, and so you have to really think about where everything goes.
oh my gosh. Have you ever made a huge mistake and put something wrong?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it happens. We try to minimize it and not do it, but it does happen.
What do you do with the mistakes?
If it's a really good flavor, and we're not super busy, we'll stretch it out, cut it for practice.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
it ends up in our mystery mix. Because it still tastes good,
Sure.
but if it's for a wedding, you really can't give somebody's name spelled wrong
No,
or a letter
no.
backwards to a bride and a groom. They usually aren't very happy about that. We do, people were asking during the live videos, because whenever we cut into the trays, we try and remove the pieces that break and like
Or
the
like
little
splinters
shards
and
or
stuff,
that
yeah.
explode and stuff. And so we started selling those as sticky situations.
Oh, very good. See?
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We sell probably 10 or so little jars of those a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Okay.
from people that want to taste the candy and have it be kind of a nice, inexpensive.
For sure. So what's the next flavor and shape?
I think it's going to be pickle.
Pickle.
Yeah, because we need a pickle.
Okay.
It's a dill pickle
Okay.
flavor, but it's obviously a sugar base, so it kind of tastes like a sweet dill,
Oh.
which is unique and bizarre. And then this process is called spinning the candy down to size, or extruding.
And how much does that weigh about right now?
It's about 22 pounds.
That's,
Yeah. So a decent amount.
yeah.
You won't find many non-in-shape candy makers. Just because you're always moving and you're working with a decent amount of poundage. And it's on a hot table, so...
And you're standing all that time.
And you're standing all
That's
the time. It's
rough.
kind of like going to work and working out all day long.
No.
It's been so stormy here. But it's good, we need the rain. We definitely
Yeah.
need the rain. It's been a bit complicated with that, with it increases the humidity levels in here, which makes the candy more sticky, and more difficult for us to package and work with. But we were able to get a handle on that, and now the humidity's dropped down to where this is very green.
Good.
Less
good.
than 50%.
Well, I'll tell you, it's beautiful out there. It's so
Yeah,
green.
these will cool down quite quickly. Just being removed from that heated table, the candy does cool pretty quick. By the time he's done extruding that, these first rods will be easy and ready to cut. The last one's going to be roll for a little bit more, and then we'll cut everything up, and then the next batch takes about 45 minutes to cook. So, yeah, each step is about 10 to 15 minutes. So do 10 to 15 minutes to extrude all the candy, 10 to 15 minutes to cut up all the candy, a little bit of time to clean things, get the next table set up, and on to the next batch.
Yeah.
That's candy in a bag.
Now, is that, do you take it down to the San Luis Obispo farmers market, or yeah?
Yeah,
When is that on?
it's on Thursdays.
Thursdays.
Thursdays from 6 to 9.
That's pretty fun.
It's a great little market.
Do they harden up pretty quickly?
Yeah, these ones are already pretty hard. Like
Oh.
they're still a little bendy, but
Yeah.
they're getting there.
So how did you get involved with this with your brother?
Oh,
How'd you get roped in?
And he needed help.
Yeah?
So seemed like the thing to do.
Yeah.
Actually fun.
Yeah? What were you guys doing before you started making candies?
I was doing electrical, which I enjoyed, but this is like you can't get shut down from the rain or whatever. So,
True.
and we don't travel.
Yeah.
That got old.
And what do you do with the end pieces?
We usually sell them as off-cuts or butt ends.
Yeah. And do people just take a hammer to it and smash it up, or?
Something like that, yeah. I don't really know. It's like that.
Okay. Nice place to be.
Yeah, I realized I wasn't a big food person. I thought
And they have a close-up of one.
But yeah, now they just shake the things and all the little crumbs kind of come out the bottom, which is really nice. And it just helps make table cleanup really quick.
And off they go.
Yeah.
Well, this has been really cool. I appreciate your time to sit and talk to me like this.
Yeah, of
Yes.
course. That's the apple.
There it is.
There it
Ta-da!
is. Here's the final little
A little piece.
focus. Yeah.
Yay. So there you have it. I hope you've enjoyed my tour of StickyUSA, and thanks to Craig and Steven and Dylan for their expertise, and we'll catch you down the road.